I am legit standing on a raft. Not really exciting, but I like the idea. What's up, agents? Zer here, welcome back to the lab, where today we're taking a little bit of a field trip because honestly the add-on that I want to showcase today is not really easily compatible with the lab. Hopefully you guys will be able to forgive me, but today we are going to be taking a look at the Raft Add-On. Now this add-on replaces boats with rafts, which honestly, this is something that I really like. This is honestly something that I think Mojang should directly implement into the game, and I've actually got a few custom crafting recipes over there, which by the way, it is not possible to implement custom crafting recipes into add-ons, at least for right now. These are just ideas that I have for if Mojang actually directly implements them into the game. We're going to be taking a look at those closer to the end of the video. Anyway, this add-on was created by a guy by the name of Zer0's, so huge shout out to them. Make sure to check their links in the description, as well as a link to download the add-on for yourself. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So these are the rafts, as you already saw, and there are 6 different types of rafts, and they're meant to represent the 6 different types of boats that you can craft inside the game, which, by the way, in the creative inventory, I found out that they are in fact renamed to rafts. However, their icons have not been changed. So Zer0, that might be something you could look into, because I know other add-ons and resource packs have done the exact same thing. It's just a little bit of an idea for you. Anyway, so because these are replacing boats, you can obviously use them as boats. So I just swim around, and it's pretty much the same thing as a boat. And one interesting feature about these is that you can legit stand on these. Look at this. I am legit standing on a raft. Not really exciting, but I like the idea. And so, yeah, and the reason why you're actually able to stand on these, I don't know if this was the case with normal vanilla boats. It might not be. I'm not entirely sure. But the reason why this is actually possible is because, as far as this add-on is concerned, their hitbox has actually been updated to be a lot larger. So it's actually really nice that you can go ahead and stand on these if you can actually manage to stand on them. That wasn't a really good attempt. But yeah, this is actually a really cool idea. I like this a lot. So you can pretty much do whatever you want on top of the raft, so long as you stay within the raft. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult to stay on the raft if you're on the edges, so that might be something worth looking into if the creator has looked into it already and figure out something about that. So yeah, that is actually really nice. Now, one thing I do want to go ahead and mention is that these rafts can sit up to 4 entities on a single raft. So if you're not already aware, boats normally you can fit up to 2 players or entities on it, one in the front, one in the back. And rafts act somewhat similar, but as I just mentioned, they can fit up to 4 entities. So if I go ahead and spawn in chicken right here, what's going to happen is that this chicken, or pretty much any entity or player that sits in it, is going to spawn inside of the center of the raft, and they're going to be the driver of the raft. That much is fairly obvious. If we go ahead and put down another entity, now as you can tell, there's one in the front, one in the back. That's really not too big of a surprise, but this is where the change comes in, and some of you might already know how this is going to work. So if I go ahead and put one down, now we have 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and if we put another one down, this is the max capacity. We have 2 in the front and 2 in the back, so a 2x2 square. And something I did not realize setting this up is that we have the 2 in the front, they're facing towards the front, and the 2 on either side are facing towards the outer edges, which is something, as I mentioned, I did not realize setting this up, but that is actually a rather interesting detail, to say the least. And that is pretty much it for the add-on. And because these are boats, their crafting recipes are the same as before. And speaking of crafting recipes, as I've mentioned before, I have some ideas for the actual recipes should Mojang implement them in. And again, I'm going to go ahead and say this one more time, you cannot actually implement these into actual add-ons. This is just something I came up with. So the first crafting recipe that I had in mind is to make a normal boat and to surround it in logs. I honestly think that makes a little bit of sense. This one is pretty much the exact same recipe, but instead of a boat, you have a wooden shovel, which, if you didn't know, the crafting recipe for an actual boat is to make a U shape and the bottom of the crafting table with a shovel in the middle to make the oars. So pretty much something similar, but it's surrounding on all sides because it's a really big object, if that makes any sense. And the left crafting recipe is to have a row of logs on one side. Actually, that would technically be a column, and the same on the other side, and in the center some combination of sticks and string, not necessarily in this particular order, but some combination of sticks and string. The string obviously to hold together, and the sticks, well, I guess the best way to put it is the logs that are going across the edge. I guess you could technically replace that with another log if you really wanted to. But yeah, those are my custom crafting recipes for this. So Mojang, if you're watching, which I highly doubt you are, there you go. There's an idea for you. I really like this idea a lot. This adds in a little bit more into the game, not really too much, but I do like this a lot. But other than that, that's actually where I'm going to go ahead and end off the video. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. One more than make sure to hit that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCPU0 to stay updated. This has been Zer0's. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I will see you guys later.